January the 20th, 2026. Time is 6 o'clock p.m. Calling the meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackrey?
Here.
Commissioner Downing?
Here.
Commissioner Smith? Commissioner Tebby?
Here.
Mayor Washington?
Here.
We have a quorum and are duly qualified to conduct business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. No presentations, Madam City Manager. Seeing none. Okay, we'll start going down the items to be considered. First item up, City Manager ready.
Good evening. There's been a lot said about this project today, so I'm going to keep my comments a bit brief on this and maybe focus on some questions that people might have about this project. So as you know, this is it's a partnership. It's a partnership between the county, us, the Port Authority, and the Catalytic Fund for the purchase of this property and the development of the same. It's an 8-acre site. Just so everybody knows, this is just the first step in the process. There's still a lot that has to be worked through before we get to seeing an actual development. A couple things that folks might be interested in knowing is what is envisioned for this property. That is yet to be determined. Again, this is just the first step. Site control is key because then we as a community have a say in what happens with that property. So we've been focused on that portion and getting that done. The next step will be trying to figure out what is the vision for the property, what is the highest and best use. It's at a great location, great access. There could be so many different types of uses, and of course our community is already chiming in on social media about the different types of uses. So again, we know there's going to be a lot of interest in it and a lot of thoughts about what should happen with this property. So keep that coming. But there's no specific plans right now for a specific type of use. As I said, site control has been the key so far. Historic portions of the building, people are curious about, are we going to preserve them? That is the goal. About 50% or less of this property is historic. Our historic preservation officer is already on it, identified portions of the building that date back to the late 1800s, like the roundhouse that everybody talks about. Dates back to the 1890s, so there are portions of it that the goal would be to preserve it. And we will be pursuing a National Register nomination for those historic portions, which will bring additional resources to the project. Timeline, people are probably curious about when this is going to move. This is a very challenging site with a lot of different components, so it's going to take a little bit of patience on our end. We think in the 3 to 4 year time frame we'll be able to pull off a good development. But again, there are so many pieces to this puzzle that have to come together in order for that to happen. I think you all know the city's contribution on this is $1.5 million. It is actually coming from CEDA funds. These are economic development funds that are allocated for purposes such as these. So the funds are being used towards the acquisition of this property along with other partners. So those were sort of the highlights of this project. There's a lot to it. There's a lot in the MOU. Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I just wanted to stick with the highlights of the project.
Any questions for the City Manager? Commissioner Downing.
Those are some fantastic photographs that we have. I noticed we don't have those cited in terms of where we got those works. Where did we get those again?
I believe it was a drone footage from Commissioner Tebby. So thank you, Commissioner Tebby, for the picture.
I'm just glad because I took them in the summer, so I didn't know if they were ever going to be used.
There we go. That's going to be our main photo moving forward.
Yes, thank you. Good. Commissioner Ackrey.
I just want to remind everybody that all this information and more is on our website in the MOU that is completely detailed of what we've agreed to. So it's none of this is hidden, and I know there's been lots of comments about this should be transparent. We're pretty transparent. It's all on the website, and it's right there for everybody to read. So thank you.
I have just a few comments. I want to thank you, Sharmali, for leading our effort on this. I also want to thank our city attorney, Frank Schultz, during the negotiation stage and pulling the contract together with our governmental partners. We attended many meetings going back and forth, and I want to thank both of you all's leadership, and also Economic Development Director Tom West for his input on this project. Many people have wanted to see the city involved and control this space, and I think I think a lot of people over many generations are happy that we're doing that. I mentioned in the news conference, oftentimes I mention north of 12th Street, all the great things that are happening north of 12th Street. Well, here we are. We're just south of 12th Street, okay? We're south of 12th Street, just a little bit, as Commissioner Hayden in the audience points out. So east and west, this will bring it together. It's going to take a while. We want to get it right. It's got a historic structure attached to it, but Covington, in the words of the Jeffersons, is moving on up. So we're real happy to see that. City Manager, did you want to add one thing, I think, to the MOU language? Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, Mayor. So our request is to authorize the mayor to execute the memorandum of understanding and any additional documents related to the purchase of the property.
Okay. Thank you. No other questions for the city manager? Without objection, consent? Consent it is. Thank you. Thank you, Madam City Manager. Next order of business, Administration Department, Elizabeth Wetzel.
Good evening. I have one item for you this evening, and that is a request for an order authorizing the mayor to execute a contract amendment with KZF Design for additional services related to Phase 1 public infrastructure design at Covington Central Riverfront Development. This came about because as we were working together during construction, there was need to rely on the design team for requests for information and things back and forth with the construction partners. And so they provided those services to us. This isn't an additional allocation of funds overall to KZF because we were able to realize savings in another bucket of money, but we weren't able to make the transfer administratively, and that's why we're here asking for the amendment.
Any questions for the director? Seeing none, without objection, consent. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Next up, Human Resources Director Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have 3 items for your consideration this evening. The first is an order accepting the resignation of firefighter Glenn Camamente. I'm so sorry, Glenn. This would be effective December 18th.
Any questions? Seeing none, consent.
The next is an order accepting the resignation of Officer John Rose. This would be effective January 14th.
Any questions? Without objection, consent.
Finally, there is an order accepting the resignation of Officer Jeffrey Tulliver, and this would be effective January 25th.
Any objections? Seeing none, consent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Fire Department, Chief Dye.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have several items. The first one will be a retirement. This will not be celebratory. He's unable to attend. He'll be out of town. This first one is an order to accept the retirement of Battalion Chief Joe Bowman effective February 1st of 2026. Battalion Chief Bowman started with us October 3rd of 2005. He dedicated 20 years to the citizens of Covington. Chief Bowman was promoted to engineer September 6th of 2011, lieutenant August 28th of 2016, captain on June 13th of 2018, and then ultimately battalion chief December 6th of 2021. I'd like to thank Battalion Chief Bowman for his hard work and dedication over the past 20 years to the citizens of Covington. Joe has been instrumental in obtaining millions of dollars worth of grants and pushing the organization to approve over his tenure.
Any questions, comments? Without objection, consent. Chief, before you continue, do you expect a promotion ceremony next week? Is that what you're looking at?
Yes, the rest of these will be celebratory.
Okay.
It was just that one.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
The first one is Captain Caleb Miller to Battalion Chief.
Without objection, celebratory for next week.
The next one is an order to accept the promotion of Captain Doug Vaselski to Fire Inspector.
Without objections, celebratory for next week.
Order to accept promotion of Lieutenant Brian Grady to Captain.
Without objections, celebratory for next week.
Order to accept the promotion of Lieutenant Ben Erdman to Captain.
Without objection, celebratory next week.
Order to accept the promotion of Engineer Pete Doherty to Lieutenant.
Without objection, celebratory next week.
Order to accept the promotion of Firefighter Josh Davis to Lieutenant.
Without objection, celebratory next week.
Last but not least, order to accept the promotion of Firefighter Brandon Kirsting to Engineer.
Without objection, celebratory for next week. Thank you. We'll put, Madam Clerk, we'll put that on. We're going to have 2 presentations. That'll be the first one, because I know we'll probably have a packed house
I would say so.
for next week. Thank you, Chief.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Are we not,
Sorry.
that's okay. Finance Department staff reporting, Jim Johnson and Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. Tonight I just have one item. It is an order requesting time for our independent audit firm, Barr & Stenig, to present their audited fiscal year 25 financial statements of the city to the Commission next Tuesday.
Without any questions, we'll put that on as a presentation. It'll be the second item after the fire department.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, Director Holmes, seems like we just saw you.
You did. I'm so excited to talk about these 2 items. I couldn't wait.
I know.
Mayor, good evening. Commissioners, good evening. Neighborhood Services has 2 items this evening for consideration. The first is a request for an order for the mayor to execute a MOU with Carnegie Visual Performing Arts Center. This is a continuation of our support as we have previous years with Carnegie for about $10,000 for operating support and the balance for utilities.
Any questions for Director Holmes? Without objection, consent.
All right, the second item for consideration this evening is a request for an order for the mayor to execute the 3rd option renewal agreement with Swim Safe Pool Management. This is in connection with our aquatic facilities. So when we entered this contract in 2023, we had an initial term with 4 renewals, and this is the 3rd of the 4th renewal.
On the swim safes, any questions? I'm sorry, Commissioner Downey.
You can start.
Age before beauty.
It's going to take me a minute to parse that one. So a couple questions. And this is a bit semantics, but I noticed that they had 5 exhibits listed in the contract regarding the renewal that were all left blank in our packet. It literally says Exhibit 1, and then there's nothing underneath of it, Exhibit 2, and then there's nothing underneath of it. I'm assuming that those are probably secondary attachments. If you could forward those on. We might have gotten them electronically, but I tend to read the paper copy. If you could just double check and make sure that we get those.
Yes.
And then annually, we've gotten kind of the recap of the year. Given the fact that we've got other new commissioners that weren't present for those last ones, before we go ahead and sign off on the renewal for this, could you please just send back to the commission last year's summary, like the presentation that they gave for the stats?
I sure can. I have reports sitting in my email in draft form that I have not reviewed yet, so
Thank you. I appreciate that.
no problem.
Any other questions? The question I have is, I would like to see what it cost us last year compared to this year. Is it on
It
there?
was 3% or 5% less. I can go back and double check though.
And they're for the same amount of service?
Yeah, if you recall, before, during the ARPA days, we had pricing all over the place, so we decided to lock in. I think it was about $285,000 initially, but then we closed our aquatic facility over at Global, which reset the contract and had to break everything out for the two remaining assets.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's put it on regular.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next items, item 17, 18, and 19. We have three appointees to, one to the Human Rights Commission and another one to DeVue Park. And Chris Knockelman is going to be going on the Covington, or he's already on the Covington Economic Development Authority. I don't think that's my appointment, though. Is it, Frank? Isn't that the county by statute or by order?
Sorry, Mayor, correct. They have a standing seat on CETA, and it's usually filled by the judge executive.
Okay. All right.
I did already receive communication from them that they reappointed him.
What'd she say?
She received communication, they reappointed.
They reappointed. So do we even need to take action on it?
Usually, we're required to recognize the appointment.
Okay.
Mayor.
All right, that's fine. So you see those three appointments without objection? It's going on consent. Next order of business is commissioner discussion. Any commissioner discussion items? Seeing no commissioner discussion items, commissioner comments? Okay. I just have two announcements. Elizabeth Wetzel and Chief Justin Weholter were named as two people to watch in our community. So watch in a good way, as you know, for the good work that they're doing here in our city. So a tip of the hat to you two. Thank you very much for the work you're doing for our community. So without anything else, we stand adjourned.